what you see, get approved. Doesn't mean you're at our company, because you have to physically move your license at whatever company you're at. Until you move your license, you're at whatever company you're at. You can do this safely, but what you'll get is an independent contractor's agreement where you can read in black and white everything I've just told you. So this is a great way to do diligence. Join.exprealty.com. The person who's your sponsor is the person who told you about this and got you excited about this. So that's who your sponsor is. Put them down as your sponsor. And then finally, here is our founder, Glen Sanford, the day we were on the NASDAQ this past year. We were a penny stock, but now we're on the NASDAQ. Only 50 companies in the world uploaded to the NASDAQ last year, out of millions of corporations. This is a big, big deal. Many would like to be there. Only 50 were hand-selected to be there. eXp is one of those companies. We're super proud of that. Here's our founder, Glen Sanford, hitting the closing button, shutting down the world financial markets. We could not be more excited about our company. It's a big deal. We do events like we're going to do Mexico in about next month. We go to beautiful resorts. We mastermind together. We have stuff happening in Orlando, Florida, our shareholders summit. We're going back to Scottsdale at the Marriott Desert Ridge for a mastermind. This is one of my favorites right here in Dallas this August 26, 27, 28. We'll be at the Gaylord Resort. It is a 5-star wrapped with an 18-hole or a couple 18. It's stunning. We go to splashy venues. Our agents are having a blast. And guess who's going to come hang out with us and teach us how to go next level in our life? Tony Robbins. So come to our events, and they're super expensive. This 3-day event is $197. So just kidding there. But sound affordable to you? I don't know. I remember going to some conventions for some of my prior companies. Is a wee bit more than $197, and Tony Robbins was never there. And then we have November 9th through the 11th, our annual convention in Las Vegas. It's going to be great. Don't miss it. But mainly, I just want to encourage you to do this, to take a deeper dive for eXp. Because listen to me. You think, I don't know how to work. I didn't know if it'd work either. But I can promise you this. If you stay at your old brokerage, it's an independent brokerage, it's Coldwell Banker, it's Remax, it's Sotheby's, it's Central, whatever it is, you stay there, I will find you in 5 years at your desk. I'm not kidding. I just did 23 years. I will find you in 10, 15 years at your desk or in Starbucks, racing to meet a buyer, running to meet a seller to that listing presentation. Well, I have a team. You know, trying to get your agents not to quit, or whatever it is if you have a team. I'm going to find you, and you're going to be grinding 5, 10, 15 years from now because you never built anything. We're going to help you do this. We're going to roll up our sleeves. One big fire. We're working together. Check this company out. Best business decision I have ever made. I look forward to meeting you at one of the eXp events. Thanks for having me today. Well, hello, everybody, and great to have you here. This is Brent Gove coming to you live from Northern California, and I have two special guests today. I hope you enjoyed eXp Explained. I have the amazing Don Hobbs, and I'm going to introduce him in a minute, a national real estate figure, and Sheila Fejeran, also from Texas. They're both from Texas. Everything's bigger and better in Texas. Everybody knows this. And I think Don is from Austin, Texas, I think.
That's right.
And Sheila is from the Dallas, Texas area. And so it is such a privilege to have you two on today. We're going to do some short interviews for about 5 to 10 minutes with each one of you. And I want the world to know your stories because they are remarkable. So real quick, let's start with Dawn, then we'll go to Sheila. Sheila, by the way, Sheila spends half her time in the Caribbean, half a year, and half her time in Texas. Life's rough. Poor Don, though, he's stuck in Austin full time, but it's a great city to be in. Dawn and Sheila, welcome to the show today.
Hey, brother. Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
It's a privilege to have you on. So let's start with Dawn, then we'll go to Sheila. Real quick background on Don Hobbs. I have known Don Hobbs. Well, he hasn't known me, but I've known him for over 20 plus years, 25 years. He is the founder and inventor of Hobbs Herder, and they were an image consulting marketing company, and they were the best. They would do events and have thousands of people show up live, fill auditoriums. They're the big deal, the who's who of real estate. They're a big deal, basically. And it's like me getting to interview Steve Jobs or Bill Gates of real estate. Wow. He's a big deal. He's humble. He won't admit it, but he's a big deal. Wow. So Don Hobbs, welcome and excited to have you here. How's the weather today in Austin, Texas?
Dude, it was beautiful, and it just turned dark and it started pouring just like 10 minutes ago.
Well, it's a little later in the afternoon there. It's like 3:05 your time. It's only 1 o'clock in California. Well, this is going to be a ray of sunshine here. So
exactly.
That was corny. I won't do that one again. But hey, we're going to bring some light. How about that? So your background, tell everyone like a 2-minute overview of your background, because I got about 5 to 10 minutes to do this interview. Give me about 2 minutes.
So I started my career, I came from the speaking world, right? I came from the training world. I came through Jim Rohn. Some of you will know Jim. If you don't, you should look him up. He's was an amazing man, had a huge impact. And there was a guy that was working with me. I was 18 years old, another young kid there named Tony Robbins, 17 years old. We started there and built that company with a few other leaders, and we built this giant company. I became president of that in, anyway, way back when, in ancient history. 2 years with Jim as president, and then I left and began Hobbs Herder Advertising. And that was a big deal because that was a game changer. You know, it's hard for people to relate. And if anybody knows and goes back that far, you know, in '86, it was people joining companies with gold coats so they could wear the brand. You know, there was no personal branding. There was no brand, real estate. There was nobody that did that kind of stuff, right? And we just kind of, you know, my whole thing was, it was always about the agent, and it's about the agent's brand and the agent's business inside a company. And if a company doesn't support that, you know, we had people that were constantly going, my broker's not going to let me do that. And I'd say, you know, go to Remax because they are, go to Keller Williams. But I was always pushing people out. We did a lot of that. And then I retired and came back into real estate ownership, owned a 9-state region for a company that was an interesting company then. But when I left to head over to work with Gary Keller 6 years ago, almost to the day, I was building his training company around his book called The One Thing. And that other company kind of collapsed behind me leaving. So, you know.
And now you're at eXp.
And now we are full on. I've never, and that's really the cool thing is that I've never really committed to a company. I've never been part of a real estate company. I've always been neutral and remained Switzerland out here going, you know, it's like, it's not worth it for me because I don't want to give my brand away to somebody. And in this company, it was like, oh my gosh, this is.
But here's the cool thing. Do you feel like you have your brand within eXp?
Totally.
Yeah,
totally.
And what's the saying? Build your dream or someone will hire you to build theirs.
Absolutely.
Isn't that true?
Yep, absolutely.
So what was it, Don, that you saw? I'm going to ask Sheila the same question a little bit. But what was it you saw that sparked you besides Allison, your beautiful
you're not seeing Allison and everybody would know that was probably the reason for it. But actually, the interesting part is, you know, I was at Gary, you know, I was working with partnership with Gary, and she's like, get out of there. Like, you know, even if you don't come here, like, get out of there. But when I did look at it, and one morning I remember getting it, Brandon, I said, you own a region for this company. And she said, I don't understand. I said, you have the same abilities as a regional owner for your former company, Remax or Keller Williams or Century 21. You own a region. And she said, I still don't get it. I said, you have the ability to grow a company within a company. You have a company within your company. And the difference is you're not buying it and you're not having to be limited by geography, and you can build it as big as you want. And I said, I'm going to join you. And that's when I kind of, you know, got it and came over. And really I see that now from a real estate agent perspective, to be honest with you, the thing that I did know is I think this company is the coolest real estate company. And I believe that the way the company serves the agent, really, the model has been turned so upside down. It's like the company serves the agent, not the agent serves the company, which is how it feels in most brokerages. I mean, in large part, right? We work for Remax, we work for somebody. And even if we don't say that, we act like it. And in this company, it was really different because, and you know, one of the things I noticed, and everybody just watched this video of yours, which we, by the way, use, I think it's the coolest. But what I noticed was that there's no company that has ever created a financial future for the agents that were part of it. It's always been about the future of the sales manager, franchise, regional directors, and ultimately the head of this company, whatever that company was. And for the first time, Glen turned this company upside down and said, you know what, it's all about the agent. And we're going to let the agents have the what are you doing?
I took a selfie with you guys. I'm not kidding that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have Don Hobbs on my show and Sheila Fejeran. I admit it. I didn't think you could see my camera, but I took a selfie. Okay, I'm guilty.
That's
By the way,
funny.
when he says he partnered with Gary, he and Gary work side by side. A lot of us say we partnered with Gary, and they throw those words around. No, they actually work side by side on new projects that they were doing. And then, but you saw a bigger and more appropriate opportunity for you in eXp. So fast forward,
Yeah.
eXp serves the agent, a company built by agents for agents.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what have you done with it? Like, for example, you've been here, how long have you been actually working at building eXp? A year and a half?
Yeah, it's been about 19 months, 18, 19 months. We're
okay,
18 and a half months, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
and how many people, everyone just watched the webinar, they saw how we help buyers buy.
Yep.
We help sellers sell. We are a real estate company.
Real estate company, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But we have all attracted people to RE/MAX, me for 12 years, Keller for 8 years. And Keller compensated me a little bit through profit share, which I'm grateful for, but $700 a month after 8 years wasn't going to be life-changing. It was a weekend play money or something. But how many agents have you enrolled just in the last year and a half personally for eXp? Now that you're excited about the model and the math makes sense, keep looking at the math. How many have you and Allison personally enrolled?
I think we've got 42 or 43, something like that. And then,
Okay.
and then the group has grown. Of course, the group, it's a little bit out of your control. The group just keeps growing, right? People
Yeah.
keep
I like to say when you join eXp, you can, not guaranteed, but it's possible you can lose control of your income in a positive way. I like the thought. I mean, usually I just lost control of my income. It was all bad, it wasn't always in a positive way. So let's explain that. A lot of independent brokers watching or agents, well, that's not that much, 42 people in a year and a half. I mean, heck, I could do that. I believe you could, you should. I did 40 in my first year, but they started telling their friends and colleagues who told their friends and colleagues. Right. That's how Century 21 got big. That's how Coldwell Banker got big and RE/MAX and Keller Williams. This happens at all companies, except, newsflash, you are not compensated for it. So those 42 agents, Don, what have they led you to today? Do you guys have over 100, 150, 200? How many agents in your organization now?
Compared to a small brokerage, right? 550 agents, 546 or something like that.
Are you serious? I had no idea it was that many.
Yeah.
You have over 546. That is like a huge mega franchise office, like massive.
Right.
Big offices have 100 agents, maybe 200. There's a few, three. So you've done that in 18 months, not 10 years.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Where do you see yourself April 2021, 1 year from now? I mean, it was just you and Allison, and now you've built this 586 agents and broker associates. How many states are you in? Do you know roughly?
24, I think, 24.
23. I'm telling you, the model's nutty.
It's
so
crazy.
1 year from now, if I could, fast forward, April 2021, where do you see I just called Clayton Getz by mistake. How funny. I looked down and he was on the phone. Sorry, Clayton, if you're watching. Where do you see yourself? How big would your organization be in April? And before I answer this, a friend of mine owned a franchise. Everybody would know the name. I'm not going to say the name. They started last year with 230. They added 33 agents in 1 year. They had 32 leave. They grew by one agent, net one, from 230 after an entire year to 231. Is that an attractive growing model? The answer is no. When you grow by one agent, you're just treading water. So let's take your 500 and whatever.
Yeah, that's the story, Brent. That's the story of most brokerages. If you look, this year they're going to grow by 4, by 3, by 5. That's normal. And
so I got 1 minute left with you. Okay. Where do you see your and Allison's business being 1 year from now? How many agents and brokers?
We'll be between 1,250 and 1,300, somewhere in that range.
12 to 1,300 agents?
1,250 to 1,300. Yep.
Wow. Well, I can tell you, I remember when I got to that level, that was worth about, $850,000 a year revenue share income outside of real estate sales to me. You can chunk away your mortgage on that, do investments on that. It's amazing. And you've been able to put that together essentially in 2.5 years.
Yep.
Congratulations.
I'll say one more thing for everybody to hear, because the one thing that occurs to me, and you could speak to this greater than we could, but that's that number, that 1 point, whatever, the 800,000, whatever it is, that number, we don't have the overhead. We don't have that. We don't have the employees and all that stuff. I mean, when you start looking at these numbers, it's close to a net number. It's not net, but it's kind of close to a net. It is.
Well said.
The company's building it, right? It's not us.
Yeah. I'll give you an example. When I was at RE/MAX and had 47 buyer's agents, my overhead as an agent at RE/MAX, now most agents have 2 or 3 if they're big, 5, 10. I get it. I went a little crazy with 47. But my overhead was $128,000 a month. Just an agent at one of the little RE/MAX satellite offices, my overhead was $128 a month.
Yeah.
And then when you chunked it all down, it bites into what you're making.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Don, any parting words for anyone who's really looking at eXp? Any words of wisdom, advice? You've been in the industry 30 years. Any advice for them?
There's nothing like this company. And I keep telling people it's the best real estate company, but it's by far the best opportunity for your future. It's got a financial piece. It's got, streams of income. It's got so many things that are just really all for you. And what I love about it is I feel like the agents that we bring over just love this company. We love on each other. There's a culture. There's a, strong, relationship. People don't think they're going to have relationships. Like, we feel closer to people here than we could have anywhere. So
yep. Like, we're going to go to Europe together. We're going to do Italy or Spain or something fun. We've been talking about it. It's going to happen.
Exactly.
We'll grab Kathy and Allison. We'll have fun. Well, I'm going to switch gears. Don, can you stick around, or do you got to bounce?
No, I'm good.
We got about 9 minutes left with you, Sheila. So I'm going to go fast. Okay. Sheila Fejeran. What's special about Sheila is she's the most incredible woman I know, next to my wife. And maybe the Virgin Mary, I don't know, but you're up there, and Mother Teresa, I don't know, you're a big deal. But she actually called me. If you watched the webinar I just did, I said I got a call from Sheila Fejeran out of Dallas, Texas. You changed my life. I'm like, sure, I'll look at the model. I mean, it was like level 1 excitement on a scale of 1 to 10. You're a polite professional. I liked you. Sure, Sheila, I'll look at your model. There was no way I was going to be interested. 2 weeks later, I moved my $100 million team to eXp because of you and the model and Glen Sanford. Thank you for changing my life. You have changed my children, my grandkids' life. You have changed their life. And so I am indebted to you as my sponsor at eXp. But tell everyone real quick your background, your story in like a minute and a half. Chunk it down, but give us your Cliff Notes story of your real estate experience.
Oh,
how you started, your history.
Yeah, in real estate, I've been in real estate about 17 years. Started out originally with builders, with David Weekley, big national builder. I used to design homes and then work with the builder to build them. So I love construction. And then about 10 years ago, I started running a brokerage out of Plano and built it up to 12 offices in 4 states. We sold over 6,000, almost 7,000 homes. And just got into eXp about 3.5 years ago. Was met by Rob Flick at a continuing education school, updating my broker's license. So I've been here about 3.5 years.
Thank heavens he went and provided a little coffee and cookies to that school. You met Rob. And then you were a student of life. You went to Haas Pratt seminars. I was there. We met each other in the lobby for like 30 seconds. Fast forward 2 years goes by. You call me and literally altered the course of my life. And so you've obviously been successful in real estate. What was it that caught your eye about the model? Why was it different? What caught your eye about eXp when you looked at the math, the numbers, the science? What was it?
Well, honestly, it was what I was doing. So I was running a virtual brokerage because with offices in 4 states, I couldn't travel. I couldn't physically get there. So I had to figure out a way to run the company. So I was running a virtual brokerage before we had a virtual brokerage. And when I saw it, it was like—
with your background, because you were a pharmaceutical sales, like you ran a pharmaceutical sales company for half the United States or the whole country?
No, all the United States. And
the entire, you trained and educated?
Yeah, I was an owner in it, and I ran the sales and I ran the inside sales force. And then we sold the company, and that's when I got into real estate. And before that, I was in media. So I totally got the concept when I saw it. And then the thought of, coming from selling a lot of foreclosures, REO, all of that stuff, I realized that, when you're in a market shift like we happen to be in right now,
Right.
some parts of the country are doing okay still. Some parts of the country are struggling more. So in my mind, the first thing I thought was 50 states. If I'm in all 50 states, then if a state's doing bad, then the other state's going to be doing okay. And it's amazing how we're still in business. Everybody else has shut their doors, but we're still in business. We're still selling homes. So I'm living today what I saw 3.5 years ago, is that when the shift happens, I would still survive because of the model and because of the way it was set up. And now I'm living proof of it.
Amazing, amazing. So you've been doing this. You joined, I think, 3 months before me, right?
I called you 2 weeks after I was here.
Okay.
And we wound up, you were going on your 25th wedding anniversary.
I remember that.
And
I made
so
you wait.
you
I said,
couldn't
look, I'm
meet.
leaving a week. I'm too busy.
Yep.
I'll be gone a week. And then I'll get back. I'm going to be slammed because I've been on vacation for a week. So I
So it's
made
like
you
a month.
3 weeks.
Yep.
That's my big regret. I missed out on 3 weeks.
So yeah, you came on literally, I was starting, my start date was September 1st. Yours was November 1st.
Yeah, my official start date, November 1st, that is true. I actually kind of got going October 21st, but the company, whatever reason, made November 1st my official start date. So how many agents have you enrolled for eXp? You thought, I think I can do this. So let's fast forward. How many have you enrolled? How many have you done? Firstly, on your front line.
Well, I've enrolled probably 60, but I have about 45 left. Because people go, all that stuff.
People
Normal
are so
brokers.
funny. They always have to tell me how many are left. It's like, you did 60. It's so funny.
I know.
So you enrolled 60. And yes, not everybody stays at Coldwell Banker Remax, and even agents leave. I wish I could tell you, everyone comes to eXp and they never leave. Life gets in the way. They move. They give up on real estate. They do get re-recruited by their broker occasionally. Free office, free leads, 100%. So those 45 agents that stuck around from your 60, they started telling people, their friends and colleagues and associates, and it's been 3.5, almost coming up on 4 years this September, right?
Yep.
3.5 years. So what has that turned into? How big is the Sheila Fejeran sales organization? How big is it?
Right now, it's right under 6,500.
Wow. And then in your overall organization, how big? Because she's saying 6,500 in those 7 levels that she gets paid revenue sharing on the slides I just showed everybody. But if you look at the overall organization, because there are people on level 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, you benefit from them because they inspire everybody, right, in your organization. But how many in your overall organization? Do you know that number roughly?
Almost 9,000.
I think it's a bit more.
Well,
I calculated. I think if you really sit down and count them, I think it's
closer to 10.
12. I think you're closer to 12, 11, 12,000. But anyway, she's humble. I'm not. No, I'll be a brag for her. These are 2 incredible people, sharp. And you guys are examples of, in the last 90 days, we've had 6,000 agents and broker associates come to eXp in the last 90 days. The move is on. And by the way, this isn't just a company, it's a movement. Airbnb was a movement. Now we're 31 billion. They were started 10 years ago. Uber is a movement. When it was like, Uber, what's that? Now it's Uber cool. Amazon, some rainforest country? Now they're the largest company in the world. They're cool. Google, really, is that the best you can do for you? It's like Droogle, Google. That is not a name. Google is not a name. Now it's like, yeah, man, Google it. Have you seen what Google's doing this? And Google VisionWare, 3D visual, and like Google's cool. eXp, we're getting there. We're not there yet, but the tipping point's coming where it's going to be like, oh yeah, Netflix. When I first heard about Netflix, I'm like, I'm not watching a movie on my phone. I want it on my giant 80-inch big screen TV. And now the whole world loves Google. I heard Dawn and Sheila, I heard a stat. 1/3 of all internet traffic in the world goes through Netflix and YouTube. those two companies. I mean, internet traffic, that's a big statement. And so that's what I heard. Now, who knows? Maybe I just started a good rumor, but it sounds believable to me because everybody's on those platforms. Zoom just went from, I think, 20 million users to 200 million users.
Right.
You guys, when you get online, the world becomes your oyster. Sheila, I know for a fact you have agents in the U.S., all 50 states, Canada, Australia, the UK, because I do. And I'm just one of your agents. I'm a little teeny Brent, and you did 60 outside. I'm just one. And so we have the ability to be Coldwell Banker, to be Dave Liniger, the founder of RE/MAX, to be a Gary Keller, or Keller Williams, to be a Berkshire Hathaway, a Sotheby's, a Christie's. Those are people's last name. Anyways, I have to go. I have to shut this down. Sheila, Dawn, thank you for being on today. You were an excellent guest. We're going to cut this and put it out on YouTube for the world to see. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to eXp, the movement. This is a movement. Look out, world. Here we come. And thank you for being on today, you guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Bye, guys. See you later.
That was awesome.